So I know this is not an uncommon experience, and I had this with myself, right? So I graduate high school, and it's actually in my senior year before I graduate, right? But I'm gonna relate this to young men in general. Throughout your childhood, you make friends, and most of the time, the friends we make are not based in good things, right? We make friends with people that are living the same normal and degenerate lifestyles as us, and then we share those common interests. But when we begin to diverge, right, and I want to learn about Christ, I want to read the Bible, and I want to make content, and I want to sit inside all day and be a nerd and be an entrepreneur, right, and start my business, and other people just don't get you, and you start growing away from these friends, and at first, it really hurts, and it's hard to do because you really like these people, and you've grown up with them, but you're just not clicking anymore. It's not matching. And I know I'm not the only one in this situation. So, what would be your advice in this scenario to someone around my age who's starting to go down the more narrow path instead of the wide gate, and just do you depart? Do you try to help them? What do you do in this situation?
Yeah, great question. So this is very relatable to myself, to tied into young guys I speak. You guys check my vlog channel. I'll link it up here if I remember. And, I mentor a lot of the young guys, right? And it's funny enough because I was speaking to one of them yesterday for maybe good like half an hour or so. And I said, look, without you even telling me, because the Holy Spirit will lead you to all truths, I said, I can sense right now you're in a position where the wheats and the tares are being split. This is all biblical, right? The sheeps and the goats, the children of God and the children of the devil. And I don't mean that in like a mean way, guys. I say it to ourselves as well. And you're at a crossroad where you really want to send this entrepreneurship, fitness, powerlifting, following Christ, just being the best you. And maybe some of your friends, right, they're not, I'm not saying they're bad people, guys, because we can all change. This is the love of Christ, right? Like, who am I? A few years ago I wasn't really following Christ, right? So we can all change. But we got to be honest with ourselves. At the moment, there's this splitting. What do I do? Because these are my friends. My whole life I grew up with these guys. And, I'm feeling now this is separation. And I relate with this in my life right now, guys. I had a friend. I don't think he's going to watch this, but I'm not going to say who it was, but for the past like 5 years, we were like peanut butter and jam. Like any problem I went through, he also went through the same thing. And just as of late, as I really began to accept Christ and go deeper on this path, I'll be honest, I haven't seen him in like 3 weeks, like no talk, nothing. Like, and it's a little lonesome. So what do you do? I'll give you the David answer. This is why we have tied into, which is good, because sometimes like my answer is just like super cutthroat. I just don't care. Titan's pretty cutthroat too, but maybe we can kind of balance each other out. Here's how I view it. You're going to die. We all know this. Titan's going to die. I'm going to die. You're going to die. And I've always viewed it my whole life like this. When I die, even before I followed Christ, you're going to be judged. I knew this. And I cannot envision myself viewing God or this higher power back in the day with him looking at me saying, you had a mission that I created directly for you, and you knew it because it was in your heart, it was in your gut. I guided you, I gave you the resources and the tools. I know it was not easy, it was very challenging, but you could have made it happen. I laid out the blueprint, and you didn't do it because you were too busy hanging out with your degenerate friends or watching movies or doing whatever it was. We're heroes, guys. Maybe this sounds a little cringy to you guys, but like, we're all the main characters in our movie. I'm the main character in my movie. I cannot, like, if I'm Frodo Baggins and I need to go out away from the Shire, right? This is what the hero's call to adventure is. Harry Potter from his little crappy hometown, whatever it is. You name the movie. Luke Skywalker, Star Wars, right? You need to fulfill your prophecy. You have to go out, and you can feel this. And I know you guys aren't stupid. If you don't do this, it's not going to end well for you. I can't explain how I knew this, but I just knew if I have a calling and I don't do it, I'm letting a lot of people down. I'm letting myself down. I'm letting my family down. I'm letting society down. But most importantly, I'm letting God down. And maybe I'm getting a little personal with you guys. Maybe this has something to do with my dad passing away young. I really think this does, that I have like big shoes I need to fill. I literally envision him watching me where it's like, I can't fumble. I can't slip. I have to make these guys proud. So I think for you guys, if you bring back this fear of the Lord, or you bring back this calling, you're in a video game, you're in a movie. Your life is a movie. You're the main character. I know you're going through a crappy situation right now, as am I in a lot of ways. I just don't, as men, we just keep going. But you have to endure. That's what makes a movie cool. When the hero's at like rock bottom, he has like nothing seemingly going for him. He's dealing with all these doubts and demons and insecurities, but you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like you can feel it deep within you that like you're going to be okay. Even though like your scenario and your situation is very important, guys. I've been an entrepreneur for like 8-9 years. It took me 5 years on YouTube to even make $1. For 4 years, I saw nothing, but I felt it in my deepest core. I'm going to be okay. This will work. You got to listen to that, and you have to full send it, because if you don't, you are a disgrace, and I believe you're probably going to hell. Just being honest. Because if you deny that, hey, that triggered you, look at the fruits of our society. Drinking every weekend, lazy sloth, fornicating, right? Like a Homer Simpson. That's what your life's going to be, riddled with sin. I'll let you speak in a second, Tide, but I was just thinking about this, I think the other day. I believe Christ chooses the entrepreneurs. I believe Christ chooses the individuals who have gone their own path even before they came to Christ, because it's such a narrow road. I've been on this narrow road, before Christ for the past 8 years of my life. I didn't go to college. I started the YouTube channel. It's already so different. Of course, the next logical step is to follow Christ. If my path keeps getting narrower and I'm already on the narrow path, what's another narrow path? This is all I know. All I know is the narrow path. And I say this to Tide, and I say this to you guys. It is the next logical step. So what do you think, Tide?
So I agree in the choosing part. However, the way that I visualize God choosing it is obstacles to overcome. And here's the way I look at it. And I'll preface this first. I'll go back and say that the reason you're not meshing with these people most likely is because you guys have different interests. It's not that they're not willing to like put in the work. If they were as interested in what you want to do as you, they would be doing the same thing. You guys just have different interests, and you're given these interests because you handled different situations in a different manner. So we've all faced tough situations in our life, and then that's like a divergence in the road. And whatever way you choose, endure or be weak, then you'll go to another one, right? Endure, be weak. And it keeps going on. And eventually you get down a certain point in the path. And if they've made different decisions than you, like no matter how much you want to help them, they're not going to be interested in what you, most of the time, they're just not going to be interested. Like, I think I'm on my second, I think 2 or 3 guys that I used to know and I used to party with, and we were just friends. We go fishing, just do things when you're a kid. And I laid it all out to them. I tried to help them. I tried to save them, right? Like everything. Here's boom, 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 boom. This is what you need to do. The boom, 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 boom. And both of them, I handed them a business opportunity. I was like, do this business and I'll get you clients. And they didn't do it. And when you're in a situation like that, you have to, it's one of those things where you kind of just have to let go. And it sucks to let go, because especially guys with our personality, and I'm speaking not just me and David, just people that watch this channel, we always want to build stuff and fix stuff. Like that's what we're obsessed with, right? Like being generative. And we feel like when we cut something, we're not like trying, but at some point and it's a valuable skill to learn when to say no and just cut your losses.
Dude, that is so key, man. That hit a nerve, because that's why I held on to my relationship for so long. For 5 years, I was in a relationship. And as men, like Titan said, we're generative. We want to fix things. This isn't a masculine blood. This is why God created Adam. Go tend to the garden. Like go take care of the animals. Fix it, right? And you're 100% right. The last, I would say, even 2 years of the relationship, I knew we were going unequally yoked. So let me give you some context to help you guys, because I can relate it with my relationship. I've only had like one friend my whole life, who I just told you, like we kind of parted, and one girlfriend. That's it, right? I have business partners and stuff, and Tide and I are homies. My homies now are like Tide and Logan. I'll be brutally honest. You guys are like my last 2 resorts. Everybody else, man, I don't really see it. I have my internet fam, you guys, but I'm talking about in real life. Now, you guys can feel it. You're going down 2 different ways. Here's how I view it. It's in your court to try to help this individual. But if you can't, meaning they're not taking it, right? You guys all hear the quote, you can lead a horse to water, but it can't, it can only drink for itself. In the Bible, what it says is 2 things. Number 1, you don't cast your pearls upon the swine, meaning if they clearly don't want the help, you do not cast your pearls. You just don't do it. And number 2, it goes along the lines of you dust off your shoes, Meaning, if you've preached the gospel, if you've tried to empower this individual, right, but they're not taking it, you dust off your shoes and you go to the next person. That is a very masculine trait, and I know it's not always easy because it almost feels like to our ego, right, we're abandoning ship. Like, oh, we gave up. That's why I held on to the relationship for so long, because I was like, maybe it was my pride. Maybe it was, man. I couldn't let it go because then I failed. And, thank God. Actually, here's some practical advice to you guys. I want you to pray to God and ask for revelations and let God take it away from you. Because what happened with me is I actually just spoke to a client about this. I was with her for 5 years, and I was getting to such a breaking point where like we were just so unequally yoked. And I'm not saying she's a bad girl or anything, but like me, entrepreneurship, following God, her kind of like just 9 to 5, not really. She was on YouTube. She was following her passions, and she was doing so well at it. And then she just quit and just slowly stopped. And I was like, what? Like, what's going on? I prayed to God and I said, is this sent by you? Like, is this my wife? Like, should I keep going? What do you want me to do? I'm kind of done. I don't know what to do. Please let me know. And I kid you not, the next day, or it was in the next couple days, she broke up with me. It was wild. And that was the revelation. God will reveal this to you. If you guys are in this situation right now, and I am too, like, God, do you want me to hold on? Should I keep enduring with this person? I'm not talking about your wife, because we've made that clear. You don't just divorce because it gets tough, guys, okay? I'm talking about friendships or relationships pre-marriage, right? Or just men to men. Ask God, right? And he'll make it revealed to you. They'll say something or do something, and it will be so known to you. Like, yes, I either keep enduring or no. And you need to learn to give up. And not give up in like a loser way, but like let go. Because you cannot inherit the earth if you're still holding on to earthly things. There's going to be a lot of stuff you guys let go in this walk with Christ. I'll tell you that. A lot of stuff. But you will gain back better. But you have to endure. You have to keep going. And you got to be kind of cutthroat. So what do you think, Titan?
Yeah, man. It's the letting go is the hard part. And it's like, especially if it's like a lot of situations you see your friends getting in that you know the solution to, right? Like you're someone like me or David, or you watch David's channel, so you already got all the information. And like the first one, the one that I mean, he's been my friend for like 4 5 years, and I see him and he's doing this with this girl, and I'm like, oh, because I've experienced this before and I know what's gonna happen, and I'm like watching it play out in the future. I'm trying to warn him, no, don't do it, and it's just a bunch of stuff. But they won't listen, and it's hard because, like you said, it feels like you're giving up. But yeah, at a certain point, one of the most important things I've learned is you have to know when to dust your shoes, and just be able to, with peace in your heart, say no.
Yeah,
and be done.
Fact. And I'll finish it here, guys, on the last thing, because I like that peace in your heart thing. This is very, very key. Very key. Here's how God's justice works. And there's a quote, I think it's in Proverbs, where it goes like, don't seek revenge. God's got that. God sees your heart. This is so key. When I left, here's the thing. Ooh, this is key. When she broke up with me, she was like, just one day, she literally just like FaceTimed me and was like, we're done. It was very disrespectful. But anyways, whatever. My heart was pure the entire time. I didn't break. I helped her the entire time. Even if I seemed like the bad guy to her family, right? Telling her to do certain things or to not do certain things that are societally normal, right? Even though my heart was pure, here's how justice worked. When she broke up with me, and I don't say this in like an egoic way or anything, my life shot. I found Christ. My whole lifestyle changed. I found based friends. And I did find mentors, and I have, Titan and Logan and guys I'm able to be generative to and powerlifting. Like, again, maybe on the external world, because I'm not like in the world banging all these girls, I don't seem cool, but I never in a million years would have envisioned like the evolution of this to happen a year ago. And never. The amount of wisdom, like the amount I've changed following Christ, like the joy you feel, it's nuts. It's so beautiful. But that happened, I believe, because God saw my heart. It was pure. I didn't leave her because I was going to go bang more girls and be this like degenerate loser satanic guy. No. I dusted off my shoes and God was like, my son, I saw what you did. You tried. Now take this. And then, unfortunately, her life just went. And I'm not saying this to like be mean. I wish her the best, but like, it's just insane to see like once it's like we were like holding on for so long, and then once we finally let go, we just went. It was like atoms. Like you put magnets together, right? And they're not attracted, and you just let them go. They literally like blew apart. And again, I wish her the best, and I hope she finds Christ. But it's just wild, guys. Like God will take care of all of that. You don't need to worry about that. So, we good on that?
Yeah, that's it, man.
All right, guys, we'll see you in the last part. This is going to be our Q&A, and that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this week's banger videos, and we'll see you next time, all right? Last Q&A, go. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's YouTube clip. As always, the full episode will be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify linked below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Todds links will be below, and I will finish here on the final plug. If you guys are interested and would like to work with me on a personal level at anything of what we talked about in today's video, or on a more practical level, improving things like your fitness, business, mindset, relationships, and spiritual connection to Christ, there is always one-on-one coaching below. Spots are open, and I love speaking with you guys on a more personal level. You guys can support Edge, coupon code developed, you know what's up, and I'll check you next episode. Till then, much love, peace.